Hi, it's Greg again. I just did a unboxing and review of the Ulti-MATE storage cabinets. We're getting ready to assemble that same cabinet I did an unboxing of, and I thought I'd share a few tips and tricks I learned through my first three cabinets. This, by the way, is not a one-person project. This is a two-person project. These cabinets probably weigh, all told, without the doors, probably around 200 pounds. But it's my own guesstimation. But they're heavy. They're big. They're wieldy. They will rock. You'll screw up the feet if you don't have a second person. That said, a lot of this assembly actually can be done with one person. So my gracious and beautiful wife has helped me through some of this, and she's the one taking the video today. So first, they say step one as I show you how to assemble. I'm going to say that's not step one. Step one is set yourself up with a good environment. A lot easier if you do this on a workbench as opposed to on the floor. What I've done is I've put my top, which is A, my bottom, which is B, and my middle spanners, which are the things that go in the back, D, E, and F, and my middle fixed shelf right here in front of me. And then you have your two side panels, so C, and the other one, the C, is right here. So that's step one, is just set yourself up with a good work environment, have a place to put some of your tools by the side. That's a lot easier. The whole process, use these things called metal dowels and cams, and they're going to go together like that right there. The cams will go inside these round holes that look like that right there, and you have to line them up so that they are the line is facing the outside, and these metal dowels are going to go into the threaded portions of the thing right there. So our step two is going to be to prepare all of these dowels. We're going to take the centers out of all these and put them inside of a bowl. There are my other special tools sitting inside the bowl, and that is a dime. It allows you to, when you're trying to line these up, if they don't quite line up right, there's a little tiny line inside there. You can just take a dime and straighten it out so that it's perpendicular. So with that said, we're going to take a little break here, and I'll come back and we will have disassembled all that, and I'll show you us putting it into the holes. Thank you. So it's about 5 minutes later, and we've disassembled all of our cams here. They're in a nice little bowl to work with. And I want to show you something about these dowels. So these dowels have a little indentation inside of there, and the set screw for the cam is meant to go inside of that thing. And occasionally when you take a look at this, you'll notice that, see how that metal insert is not level flush. Well, if you have a 1/4-inch hex wrench around, what I suggest is that you take it and make it so that it's flush with the outside, because they have a very specific depth that they're supposed to be at for that cam to work. And that's why you don't want to use power tools when assembling these metal dowels. You just want to put them in hand tight, and that's sufficient, because if you use a power screw, it will actually drive that farther down, which means then the set screw that's coming in on the side doesn't hit the right spot. So hand tight on these, make sure they're flush, 1/4-inch hex wrench, and then what you need to do is take these cams and put these cams into each one of these holes, just like that right there. So that's where your special little dime comes in place. If you need to straighten that out, you can just go like that. And we'll go ahead and do that for about the next 5 minutes, and I'll be back to show you the next step of the installation. So it's been just a few minutes later. We've got all of our cams in the little holes here now. This is where the layout comes in real nice. Like I said before, A is at the top, B is at the bottom, I is in the middle, which is the middle fixed shelf. And then you got your D, E, and F right here, which is your bottom, middle, and top. So now that these have been screwed in hand tight, we can take this board. This is F, so this is the bottom, and just drop it right on top of those metal dowels. And you got to take your centerpiece for your cam, and using a manual screwdriver, not a power one, you got to take and just gently twist it in place. And then what I like to do is come back afterwards. I have a screwdriver that has a ratcheting torque mechanism. And I like to use it to actually tighten them down nice and tight, but not before. If you want to do it with hand first, else you can cross thread these things. So here's D. We'll come over here, do the same thing with E. All right, come on, get in there. And pretty simple. That's why you want to have those center pieces out. Here's our D, which is our top. These are both tight. And just like that, you see that one's cockeyed, so I need my little handy dandy dime. And boom, that's in. And then our eye right there. And so now I'm going to take all these little center section pieces right here, and we'll go put those in hand tight real quick, and then we'll come back to put in the top. And we're back. So we've got our little cam centers in now. And like I said, this is really a two-person project, not a one-person project. Well, here's one of those steps that's a little difficult to do if you're a single person doing it by yourself. But I'm confident that I can, so let's give it a try. Take our other side panel, C, and we'll line it up here so that, there we go, let's see what we got here. Let's go in. There, got that. Okay, and line these up, and line these up. Yeah, looks like a couple of them are having a hard time getting in here, so I'll have to adjust it. Oh, there it goes. But you'll notice how tight those seams are in here. And if you're looking carefully inside the cam, you can see the little metal dowel that's inside there. And that's why that depth is important. That's why you don't want to tighten those down with a screwdriver, because they'll change the depth of where that sits. So let's go ahead and put on our top panel now. Oops, before I do that, I actually need to get my wood dowels here, which I forgot to pull out. So you've got some wood dowels that you have to put inside these 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's go ahead and put on our top panel. And we'll put in our bottom panel the same way with the wood dowels. And then we'll drop in all those cam centers, and we'll be back to show you the next step. But you can tell the bottom one, because the bottom one's got the place for the feet. So we put in all the cams into the corners. We don't have any parts left, hopefully. Oh, there's a diamond here. But now's the time you want to check your corners and make sure everything's nice and tight. So if I take a look, there's one over here that doesn't look so good. It's this one here in the corner. You can see there's a little gap there. So you do is you loosen up the cam a little bit and give it a little push. And that's where your handy dandy rubber mallet might come into play. Should tighten up nicely. And all our things look good. So the next step that I like to do is, they suggest it in a different time in the thing, but while it's up here on the surface, you got all your hinges here. Why not just take a moment to drop in a hinge? So I've got one right here. There's 2 oblong holes, 2 round holes. I put in the round holes first so it centers it. And we just drop it inside there. There's pre-drilled holes for you all ready to go. And so get one inside of there. Here we go. And if you got a little tiny power screwdriver, that makes this process a lot easier. And I like doing this as opposed to the door. The door only has 2 holes, and it also has that round mechanism there to hold it while you're putting on the door. So we're nearly complete here. Like I said, I kind of go a little extra deep. I've got one with a ratcheting torque mechanism on it. So I like to go through and make sure that they're all tight. You don't need to do this. You can do this all by hand, but I like to take the extra step. We'll stop here while my wife gives me a hand actually pulling this cabinet down off the thing. Like I said, this is a pretty heavy cabinet. We'll also attach the feet on the bottom, which is just screwed into the bottom right here and here. And then we'll be right back on the other side. So I started this whole thing off with 2 statements. One is, I'm not an expert. And 2, make sure you follow the instructions very closely or else you might get a little upside down. Well, we got a little upside down. What I didn't realize at the time was we had, remember those, when I put in those back spanners, these back spanners here, here, and here. Well, I had the basing backwards. So I had to take the whole thing apart and reverse it. It took us about 15 minutes to do. But so these had the cams were on the inside and they should have been on the outside, and that affected me going onto this mounting bracket as well. So again, follow the instructions closely. But we're down to our last step. We've actually installed one of the doors. I'll show you how I install it, and why I like putting the hinges on first is because here's a 2-person operation that is actually not too hard to do with a foot. The door almost holds itself, like that. And if you can get a screw on, just right here, and we'll just get this one screw in. So we got that one. Go down here, another one locked in. Let's see what we got here. I don't know if you can see. That's where this handy dandy little Christmas present from my wife to hold screws comes in. It's just a little magnetic thing, and you can just go right through and screw them all in. But as you can see, most of this project was actually almost a one-man operation. There's only a couple places where, you know, having that second set of hands and you're trying to handle the big cabinet come into play. Do that. We've got some screws for the door. Oops, just dropped one. Just a second. Push that through. We already peeled the plastic off the door. And I also mounted the locking mechanism onto the bottom of the middle shelf. Where are you? There's 1 and 2. And you can also see how I mounted the wall mounting mechanism and how easy that is. It's it's a great way you can level out ahead of time and make sure the cabinets are level, and you just pop it up on there. But there we go. A completed project. The entire thing, if we hadn't had the little snafu with the back braces and the filming, was probably about, I would say I could probably whip one out in about a half an hour if everything went perfectly. But your first time, it's more like 2 or 3 hours as you're going slowly. But once you've done your first one, they just start to roll out. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.